Good morning. Day 119 here. Got down to 44 degrees last night, so maybe this is a sign of things to come. Maybe it's because we're getting a little bit north. Mornings are a little bit chillier, but I like it. Slept good. Get a nice, cool, crisp start to the morning. So this is great hiking weather. Got about 17 miles to get to Crater Lake. So hopefully it'll be a good day. I think there's about 10 miles of that is through burn zone, so it'll be exposed. I think it's the later part. So I'm going to get as many miles in as early as I can before it starts to heat up. And plus, I just want to get there early. Arrange for the shuttle, hopefully, if there's room, and make sure my resupply gets there. And then I can kind of relax and enjoy Crater Lake. The spot where I chose, I thought that whole crew that was with me last night, or the night before, was going to take the same camp spot. So I thought it was going to be another crowded night. It was just me and one other southbound hiker. I think he goes by Rock and Roll. So it was good, nice, good, quiet, relaxing night. So everything worked out great. See you down to the trail. Oh, so yesterday was, relatively clear of smoke. You could still see it, if you got a vista view in the distance. It wasn't that bad. This morning, probably about 4 o'clock, I woke up to smell smoke. You can still smell it a little bit now. It's kind of hard to tell because we're just enclosed in forest. So you can't really, see a long distance and see how bad it is. I'll probably, first vista view I get, I'll take a look and decide if I want to put on a mask or not. It's not that bad, but I can definitely tell the smell of smoke. But we'll keep our eye on that as we get closer and closer to Crater Lake in the burn zone. Yeah, I've entered the burn zone, which burned a few years ago. I don't know, maybe 10, 15. I think this goes on for about 10 miles, but it's the first chance I can see a little bit to a distance. And the ridgeline's back there covered in haze, so yeah, it's a little smoky out. So I've put on my mask. At least we're going downhill. Strange how it seems to be worse in the mornings. I'm not sure if the wind's shift during the day or what, but hopefully the train continues and it clears up in the afternoon. So it's a little smoky out. This might be a little bit better view. Obviously the ground I'm traveling now burned many years ago, but the smoke is from the fires just north of here, the ones that have to go around after Crater Lake. But yeah, that smoke's just lingering here in the background. Pretty heavy. It could be much worse, but this is much worse than yesterday, and probably similar to what it was 2 and 3 days ago. Okay, so very prominent deer tracks this morning along the trail. It's kind of interesting because the trail goes up there, but of course there's a blowdown, and even the deer you can see take this route going. They've learned the alternate routes around the blowdowns too. Okay, it's getting to be one of those days with the blowdowns. Trail comes through here, and this is what I get to navigate through. This is just ridiculous. That's the trail. So people are making their way over here. I mean, I've already hit several hundred blowdowns. This is pretty dense. I can't even do this with the camera. I need all 4 limbs to get through here. Yeah, so there's no trail. It's just, the trail's gone. You can go over those. I see some footprints up through here. You can go through here. But it's just an obstacle course. Take your pick. They all suck. Made it up the climb. I think that's the biggest climb of the day. That was a really rough section. Between, it's only like an 800-foot climb, but it was through a burn zone, uphill. You're exposed. You got smoke, so you can't breathe. Trying to wear a mask, protect the lungs a little bit, but that makes breathing even harder. And then, man, it was just a real bad section of blowdowns. This is probably in the top 5 on the trail so far in terms of worst blowdowns. So just all that combined really takes it out of you. You just, what the heck am I doing here? But, that's when you just gotta, say, suck it up, buttercup, and just put one foot in front of the other. And keep doing that, and eventually you get to the top. It takes a lot of energy, so I'm glad I'm only doing 17 miles today, because that'd be tough doing a, 23 to 25 mile a day when you got sections like that. So I got a little bit of downhill for the next couple miles, mostly downhill. And then I think I got one more climb, and then some more downhill. I'll be getting close. So I'll put the mask back on and, enjoy a few downhill miles. We'll see down the trail. I guess Crater Lake extends all the way here. Still got like 6 miles to hit the road where the campground entrance is, and then it's like another 4 miles up to the rim. But we are entering National Park right now, so that's good. Making progress. See you down the trail. Welcome to the trail. Look who's looking at me. Hey there, little guy. Yeah. We're just gonna have a stare down. A little mama and baby. I've seen a lot of these out here. Oh, there goes the baby. Why do they just hop? They hop like bunny rabbits. Okay, good news. Ever since I had lunch, saw those deer. The trail's been fantastic. Nice dirt, good grade, and most important, no blowdowns. So now we're in the national park boundary. Seems like they take much better care. They got more funding and resources than, forest land or BLM land or whatever was outside the park. So it's good to see. And good to travel, nice, easy, clear trail. This is what hiking's about. Not running an obstacle course for miles on end. Okay, well, hopefully it's like this all the way into the campground. About another, 5 miles, 4 miles, something like that. We'll see you down the trail. Okay, 1:15. Made it to Highway 62, Crater Lake Highway. So it's 16.5 miles. The PCT actually continues, I think, 1 or 2 miles north before it closes because of the fires. But the campground with the shuttle and resupply is due east, so I'd have to backtrack. So I'm going to take the highway, walk along the highway, and walk in the village. And first priority is to see if I can get a resupply, or see if I can get it on the shuttle either today or tomorrow, because they don't do shuttles. Today's Sunday, and they don't do them on Tuesday or Wednesday, so I need to get it today or Monday. And the second priority is to get my resupply, which should have been delivered yesterday, but they're having all kinds of problems with some of the facilities because it's a new concessionaire and doing mail drops and that. So we'll see if I can get lucky twice. Get a shuttle and get my resupply. Keep your fingers crossed. Okay, so the first part's working out. We got to the camp house and there was a sign-up sheet. Today's shuttles are already gone. They were full, but there were 4 shuttles for tomorrow. So I signed up for the 7 a.m. shuttle for tomorrow, and just as I did that, these 2 other hikers drove up. I kind of saw them over at the store, and they got up the trail in Shasta. They just didn't want to deal with all the fires, and they got a car, and now they're just driving around helping people. They're talking about going up today, which that would be great. So I'm gonna now go over and see if I can get my package, my resupply package, and then circle back to the camp host spot, and hopefully we can get out today. Because you know, from what I've been reading, it's kind of a mess here at Crater Lake, and Shelter Cove is much better equipped. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you posted. Okay, so we made a stop trying to find some other hikers. Still trying to find at least one other person, but got to stop and take a view of the Crater Lake. So even through all the haze and smoke, it's still just deep, deep blue. You see, there's Wizard Island. It's what right in the middle. There's you can hike up to the cone there and then down into the caldera. Sandra and I did that when we were here 24 years ago on our honeymoon. It's part of the, there's a boat that goes around the lake and does a tour. So, beautiful Crater Lake, even in the smoke and the haze. So there's the smoke of the Middle Fork fire. Here's my trail angels of the day. Baby Cow and Deanne. Yeah. Got it right finally. And they just show up in the nick of time, so thank you. Okay, so I didn't get to do a closeout for day 119, so I'll do it now. Yesterday just turned out to be a magical day. I mean, talk about the trail provides. It just, the saying just comes true over and over. You know, as you know, I was rushing to get into to Crater Lake because I didn't know what the situation was going to be for getting shuttle rides over around the fires to Shelter Cove, and it's like an 80-mile drive, and you know, you're going from a national park to kind of a little bit of a obscure fishing place on a lake, kind of in the back country of Oregon. So it's like, man, that could be a tough hitch trying to get from one place to another. So, you know, from what I read in the Far Out app is, you know, that there was a camp host offering these shuttle rides to help hikers out, but he only does it Thursday through Monday. You know, as I've said, I want to hustle over there, get over there Sunday, and hopefully get on the list for Monday, because there's a lot of hikers on the trail, and I have no idea if this guy has, you know, a big van that can take a bunch of people, or just a regular car or truck that can only take 4, and does he do 1 ride a day, or 2 rides, or 3 rides? So, you know, I want to hustle and get over there. I get there by like 1:30ish, and I just make a beeline right for the camp host spot, and it was great because they had room on Monday. Everything was full Sunday, but they had room on Monday. So I go, okay, great. So I sign up, and then I was going to get resupply and then eat. But just as I'm doing that, these other two hikers drive up. Their name was Baby Cow and Deanne. They had gotten off the trail back in Shasta like a week and a half ago, for a couple different reasons. So they're off the trail. They're in their car and they're just helping hikers out. And they were wondering how they could give rides to hikers. I go, out. When are you going? And they go, well, we can go today or tomorrow, but preferably today. So I go, I'll take one. And it just perfectly worked out, because then they were going to go and try and find another hiker to help out. So I go, perfect. I gotta go over and get my resupply package. We're gonna meet back in the campground in 15 minutes or a half hour. So I walk over to the general store, and I'm nervous because according to the Faro apps, everything's kind of a mess in Crater Lake, because they're switching, or they just switched concessionaires. I guess they were having problems with the old one, and they brought a new one in. Instead of the normal 6 months to prepare for the season, they only got 6 weeks. So the employers are doing the best they can, but it just didn't have enough time for training and turnover. And the old concessionaire was apparently trying to make it, the transition very difficult and hiding things. And it's just kind of a mess up at Crater Lake, even though the employees are doing the best they can. People couldn't get their mail packages because the old person doing it just up and retired at the end of July. Just threw the keys at another employee, said good luck, and didn't give him any kind of turnover or anything. So I didn't know if I was going to get my resupply package or not. I walk over to the resupply store, and the power had just gone out and they're closing up. I go, well, is there any way I can get a resupply package? They go, well, if we got it. And it came in just the day before, and they had it. I got my package just as they were locking the doors. So that worked out perfectly. The restaurants were closed, both in the campground and up at the rim. So there was no way I was going to be able to get anything to eat. I was going to have my my hiking food, and then resupply that. So I was just happy to get out of Crater Lake, and magically Baby Cow and Deanne show up and give me a ride over to Shelter Cove. So it could not turn out any better than it did yesterday. Got around to Shelter Cove. They couldn't find another hiker that wanted to go. There were other hikers that already left that day, and there were a few that were wanted to go out tomorrow, but they wanted to go up and see the rim and see the lake. Some wanted just to walk the whole way, maintain their continuous footsteps. So it just so they just said, well, we'll just take you. So I kind of felt guilty having to ride all to myself, but they wanted to help out. So it just really worked out. On the way, they stopped probably 3 or 4 different hikers, seeing if they want to ride, which they didn't, but they gave them sodas, and that just providing a little bit of trail magic along the way. As we're getting to Shelter Cove, we pull up and offer a soda to a girl that was walking. She was like, I don't know, only 20 miles, so she had already walked like 60 miles at this point. So she had a soda, and we were talking to her, and she was just having a real bad day. It turns out, this is her 3rd major trail hike, and so she's going for the Triple Crown of hiking. She'd done the Appalachian Trail, she'd done the Continental Divide Trail. She's 1,800 miles in the Pacific Crest Trail, but she goes, I'm not enjoying this, and the smoke's bothering me. I've got a headache, and you got all these fires around, and I'm thinking about quitting. But she's still doing the road walk, trying to maintain the continuous footsteps, and so she's kind of in this dilemma. Anyway, she decides to jump in the car, and she's apparently gonna quit. I think she might hike for another week. She wants to go to trail days next weekend. But just real fascinating story. A little bit harder just to maintain continuous footsteps and do these road walks. This one, almost, well over 80 miles, and then just up and decided to quit. Just thought I'd share that story with you. And yesterday was just a real magical day. Couldn't really believe it. So that's kind of what happened on day 119. So we'll see you tomorrow. Hey, hello. This is day 120 and I'm still at Shelter Cove. I decided to take a 0 day here today. Officially, a 0 is no PCT miles hiked, but really, the 0 is really just kind of resting and relaxing a little bit. And I was just looking. It's been either 37 or 38 days since I've had a 0 day. So I've been hiking every day. Now, some of those, we call them Neros, where it's a near 0, where you might hike 10 miles or less going into town or coming out of town for a resupply. But you're still, you're doing 5 or 10 miles. Then you're going in town, you're running around doing all your town chores and resupply. And, sometimes resupply days are more hectic and exhausting than trail days, just because you're trying to eat as many calories as you can and do laundry and take a shower and, do your resupply and get caught up with what's going on at home. And resupply days or town days always seem real busy. So here it's nice just to be able to relax. And I was gonna take one in Ashland, if you remember, because I reserved a night at the hotel, or it's kind of like a hostel, but I reserved 2 nights there. But then I was looking ahead and had to hustle on over to Crater Lake to get a shuttle. So I ended up not zeroing there, and I went in one day and went out at 7 a.m. or caught the 10 a.m. shuttle the next morning. And I was trying to squeeze in my resupply in there too. So it was I was in Ashland for less than 24 hours, and I think I did 15 miles going into Ashland and 15 miles going out. So in both those, technically those are Nero days, but I still did 15 miles each day. So it's nice here. I'm really not doing a whole lot. I'm probably going to try and eat four meals from they got a little grill here. So I had a breakfast sandwich for breakfast and some chicken strips for an early lunch. I'll probably do a Cobb salad here in a couple hours and then get a burger tonight. But it's nice just to be able to catch up on stuff. This worked out well because my trekking pole broke another tip. So you can see here's the tip, and there's supposed to be a carbide tip right there, and that broke off and went inside. So I'm just wearing down the plastic. And once you wear down the plastic, then you start wearing down your pole. So this is the second time this has happened. Luckily, I had a spare tip from the last time this happened. But it's hard to get these tips off the pole because they're just pressed on there. And the gear shops have a tool that they can use to get them off. Or sometimes they have to use like a heat gun and vice grips and that, which is hard on the trail. So I was trying to, find a couple rocks and pull it off there. I used the grate on a campfire barbecue grill, and I just couldn't get it off. But here at Shelter Cove, they've got a couple maintenance guys and a maintenance shack. I was talking to one of them, and he let me use his vise, and so I was able to get the broken tip off and replace it with this one's partially used. This is the other one that didn't break from the first. The first time the tip broke, I replaced both the tips, and I kept this one just as a spare. So good thing, because now I've used it. And if you count the one, the Sierras that I got caught in the stream and pulled off, I've gone through 3 tips so far. So I'm now officially out of spare tips. So we'll see if I can get to a Canada or not without breaking another one. Refueled my fuel canister here. I still got to go through my food. There was some problems with a credit card statement that Sandra's helped me get resolved. We got the next resupply out to Big Lake Youth Camp. So I think I'm pretty good. I think I got one more for Oregon up to Timberline Lodge. So I'll get that planned out. And then the last thing I got to do today is I'm just starting to map out the fires in Washington. There's like 4 trail closures right now in Washington. I think 1 or 2 of them have alternate routes that you can walk around. The others are bigger ones and you got to hitch around. So I'm just starting to map those out and see how bad that's going to be. But right now it's pretty bad. I might miss some trail miles in Washington. But I'm going to map them out, and then I can kind of keep an eye on them, because I'm still probably 2 to 3 weeks away from Washington, maybe 2.5 weeks away from getting to the Washington border. And so things can change. Maybe they'll be able to get them out and open up some trail, or we'll see what happens. Hopefully they don't get worse. So that's my next, and that takes a little bit of time, because that's a different section they have to load on the WhatsApp, and So it's hard toggling between sections when you're out on the trail. It's easier when you got Wi-Fi access. Kind of relaxed and staying off my feet. I did notice, the last several days, my feet have not been feeling good. If you remember, I hurt my knee maybe a week ago, and that was just starting to get better. But the last couple of days, I could start feeling it again, right where I injured it. And then that's on my left knee. Then my right foot has been bothering me, about 3 or 4 days ago. It started bothering me like late in the day. And then yesterday, it started bothering me like around 10 o'clock. So I didn't know if it was the new shoes, but it's the same style shoe. I mean, I got a new pair in Ashland. This is my 4th pair of shoes, but it's the same style as the other 3 pairs. So I don't know if this one's cut slightly different, or it might just be, I've been hiking for 38 days straight without a break. So I think just mentally and physically is good just to take a 0 day. Because a lot of people take 0 days, every week or two. And it's been, almost 5 weeks since I've taken a day off the trail. It's long overdue. There's not a whole lot to do here. It's a nice little place, but it's really geared kind of towards fishermen. I mean, I could rent a canoe or something, paddle around the lake. I'm kind of just taking it easy, getting caught up in my town chores, and kind of, mapping out and looking to see what's ahead on the trail. So that's kind of the game plan. Try and eat as much as I can, because I'm really looking thin. I'm kind of interested to find a bathroom scale somewhere, but I'm also kind of afraid to look at it, because back in Ashland, the shower was at a mirror. So as I stepped out of the shower, I looked at myself first time in the mirror, and it was not good. I feel good on the trail, so I feel like I have enough energy, but I probably have 0 body fat, and I think my body's starting to consume all of its muscle now. When you're in town, try and eat as much as you can. That's it for now. I'll see you later. Okay, so here's Shelter Cove. They got a little grill and convenience store there. Some bathrooms. There's some showers and laundry facilities over there. You got a nice PCT hiker tent and that on the other side of the building, and a good area for PCT hikers to hang out. And they got a little marina here. I guess you can rent some canoes or some boats and go fishing. A lot of fishing here. But I wish I would have taken some pictures yesterday, because the smoke's getting really bad today. And, you can see the trees over here, and then as I go over, you can't even see the other side of the lake, where yesterday you could. And I mean, if you look real hard, you can see some trees over here, but yeah, the smoke's getting real bad compared to how it was yesterday afternoon when I got here. Hopefully the wind shifts tonight, because I'm not gonna like hiking in this, huffing and puffing. I can smell it a little bit, but you also kind of get used to the smell. But when you just see your visibility cut down by so much, you know that there's a lot of particulate in the air. Hard to tell. It doesn't seem like there's, it's just a slight breeze. No real strong wind to be blowing it one way or the other. We'll see what it's like tomorrow, but I'm not real encouraged today. Kind of wish I had started hiking north today just to get away from this, because it's getting pretty bad. Oh well, I'll have to deal with it. If I need to, I'll wear a mask. That might help a little bit. But you do what you can. We'll see you later.